Yo, what's up, guys? And welcome to my second part of my March Madness tournament coverage. If you don't know what this is, I explained in the first video, which you should check out. It's basically a draft style tournament where different people from different leagues were invited. Basically the best players, usually, not always, but some of the best players from every league. Let's put it like that. That makes a lot more sense. Were invited to join, and I was one of them, representing the PPL, of course, and I made it through the pool, which was an incredibly hard pool. And yeah, everyone drafted 7 Pokemon, and you should know my 7 Pokemon by now. So yeah, and as you can see, our first opponent in the bracket play just happens to be a fellow PPL member, Slyroh, and his Pittsburgh Pyro. He actually signed up for the open division, and he is there instead of officially quote unquote representing the PPL. So hey, we have 3 PPL people in the open division with him, Kelly under the radar, as well as Ruby Mero from D2. So that's really cool. And yeah, let's get into Sly's draft. He has Skarmory, Rotom Heat, Nidoking, Mega Blasters, Haxorus, Umbreon, and Scyther. The thing that scared me the most was probably Haxorus. Definitely Haxorus. And as you can see, he didn't bring that. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm very happy with that, because DD Haxorus could actually just fuck me over, and that would have been less than ideal. So I'm glad that's not coming. I think I have T-Wave on my Jirachi for that, but I could also be completely wrong. So yeah, and as you can see, the team I'm bringing is first up Terrakion, Choice Banner Terrakion, because it destroys his team, and there's a Skarmory. Like every time after Terrakion Skarmory matchup, I'm probably gonna bring a Choice Banner one because 2 KOs. It's beautiful to see that. Just click close combat against the Skarmory and have it get 2 KO'd. With Rock Slide as my last move for safety, that like Earthquake, close combat, Stone Edge, and then Rock Slide so I can hit safely against things like Rotom Heat and have to risk a burn against things like the Scyther, which could actually be a decent threat. Then we have a Life Orb Heliolisk with Surf, because it hits Nidoking and hits Heliolisk, Rotom Heat, and then Hyper Voice Volt with T-Bolt, I do believe. Scarfmans, because Scarfmans can actually clean up his team relatively effectively if I wear it down with the combination of, you know, Terrakion, Heliolisk, and Mega Blastoise. I think I have Rock Slide on Mens as well. I think it's Dragon Claw, Outrage, Fire Blast, and Rock Slide. I just want to have something to do Oko Scyther, especially if it's a Violet. I don't kill it with the Dragon move, so I can kill it with Rock Slide if it gets out of hand, if it's like an SD variant, and everything's fine. Unless you know if it kills, I didn't calc it. I was like, it's gonna work, I believe. So I just went with that. So yeah, that is that. And it's enough speed to outspeed Haxorus and like a little bit special attack investment. No, I have enough special attack investment to 2-hit kill Skarmory and enough speed for Haxorus, and then the rest in attack. I was like almost max. I want to make sure I outspeed 2-hit KO speed off Skarmory, which I do with the spread, so it's cool. Next up we have a Balloon Jirachi with Thunderbolt, Psychic, U-Turn, and T-Wave. I think that's a set. Psychic and Thunderbolt, I know. Everything else we'll probably see in the game, but I'm pretty sure I had U-Turn for the Umbreon, so I can at least get out of there and go into Terrakion on them. So, now we have a Spadef-ish speedy Subsea Shaman. It's enough to outspeed Mega Blastoise or Rotom Heat. I think it was Rotom Heat. Yeah. Subseed is there so I can beat Umbreon 1v1. And then Seed Flare and Anti Code, HP Fire over HP Rock. Definitely should have gone with HP Rock in hindsight, because Rotom Heat and Scyther are just bigger threats, and I can just lead CT Skarmory and then proceed to beat it, kind of. And like everything else on my team already beats Skarmory, so it was a bad decision on my part, a really, really bad decision, but you know, it happens. And then we have offensive Mega Blaster with max HP and 4 in speed. I want a max HP so I can check some of his offensive threats better, like Nidoking mainly. And I have Dragon Pulse because it does a fuck ton to Haxorus. I'm pretty sure it kills, and it's my hardest hitting move for his own Mega Blastoise. Because he was in the open division, he can have the same Pokemon as me, obviously. So because with completely different drafts. So I have Dragon Pulse and Mirror Coat on my Mega Blastoise to potentially beat his own Mega Blastoise if it comes down to that matchup, which is pretty cool. So let's get into the game. He is with Scyther. I decided to lead off with my Mega Blastoise because it's just always a pretty solid lead. And I can just click Scald. He goes for U-Turn, does nothing because I'm max HP. And I can just get a Scald off anything. He goes into Umbreon, that is going to take a very solid amount from that. and I can just click Aura Sphere because he can't do anything to me. So I'm gonna click Aura Sphere and that does 70%. Jesus Christ. This is probably a Phys Dev's Umbreon looking at that, and later on it is revealed that it is in fact physically defensive. So click Scaldy because it would kill from this range, and I don't want anything like Scyther to get a free switch in. He has less things for Scald than he has for Aura Sphere. Kind of, maybe. So click Aura Sphere again. I get a crit on his own blasts before it megas, which is nice. Probably should have stayed in and just clicked Dragon Pulse and probably knocked it out, but hey, I don't. And he's gonna reveal that he's a rest Mega Blastoise right here as I go into my Shaman, which could be a little bit annoying. However, as long as he's sleeping, he doesn't control what he's doing, so that's fine. I'm gonna click these here, get that off on the Scyther, which is nice. Do assault 12% off on that thing. If he goes for anything but a U-turn, he's gonna take on a damage every turn, and that's nice. So gonna go to my Jirachi as he goes for knockoff. Like the fucking, what's the thing? Hex resistant there, so I don't need the balloon as much. It would be nice for Nidoking, but hey. So gonna click T-Bolt here as he goes into Skarmory, and it does 71%, and I get a para. That's a lot of damage. So offensive Jirachi already paying off, and he's on Ania, right? He's just switching. I'm gonna click U-turn. Works out perfectly. He goes into Rotom Heat, and I get initiative, and I can go into my Terrakion, right? And this is a huge turn. He misses a Will-O-Wisp. He's Scarf, Will-O-Wisp, Rotom Heat, and I miss a Stone Edge. My miss did not matter as much as his. If he would have gotten the Willow off, he would have been a lot better against my Terrakion. So, seeing that he is definitely scarfed, I'm going to go into my Shaman here and shoot at Will-O-Wisp. Not going to pull a double here because I don't want anything else to take a Willow. So, yeah. Oh, I do Willow. Oh, yeah, I do pull a double because he just doesn't care about getting burned too much. I'm going to click Surf here because this is confirmed to be a physically defensive Skarmory from the T-Bolt damage, and Surf kills that from this range. So, that's gone. 90% Nidoking. He could be scarfed. He's most likely scarfed from the way he brought it in. I'm going to my Salamence because I'm going to play offensively here. He goes for Earth Power. I'm immune to that, and that's great. I don't switch to Nidoking, so I have to pivot around it, and I watch it perfectly. And he doesn't have Dragon Resist anymore. I can click Origin and get a kill. Phys Dev Umbreon. Why? Why is it fat? I hate you, Umbreon. That's a stab outrage. It does nothing. I hate Umbreon and everything about it. Except for its design. Its design is pretty cool. So, I'm gonna get the heck out of here because I don't want to, like, take a foul play. I'm gonna go to Terrakion. I also don't want to hit myself, you know. That's nice. That would not be nice. So, gonna go to Terrakion, and I can basically get off a free Stone Edge on anything here. Because nothing wants to take it. Goes into Nidoking, and that does 45%. That's a resist from a relatively bulky Pokemon. And this should have told me that this is a bulky Nidoking, but here is Dragon Tail right here. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? He's Dragon Tail Nidoking. That is very sly of him. So yeah, that damage response should have told me that he was more bulky, but it didn't. So I'm gonna go for sub with Shaman. Scout for what's happening, and I'm just gonna click Elite Seed here as he goes into Scyther, and I miss Elite Seed on the air lays, which is unfortunate. Now I have to switch out of here because I want to keep my Shaman for the Mega Blastoise. Yeah, so going on to Jirachi, he goes for knockoff, which is a good play on his part. I would have gotten rid of my Salamence item, and yeah, I switched. I don't care about Jirachi at this point, really. I switched into Nidoking earlier, if I remember correctly, so hey. It's all fine. So now I can go into my Helios and just fire off a free T-Bolt. That does a lot to this Rotom Heat, but I don't want to take an overheat. I don't want to take a Scarf overheat from this range. I probably don't take one. So yeah, I'm just going to my Mega Blastoise, which is a safe pivot. If he goes for Volt Switch, it's fine. I can take one because I'm a Mega Blastoise. That overheat does nothing. So I'm just gonna click the Dragon Pulse. You expect the Mega Blastoise to come in. It doesn't happen. And I like Dragon Pulse, which is my safest overall play because it hits everything on this team for neutral damage, and with Mega Launcher it's basically stab, so it's fine. Okay. This time I'm just gonna click Aura Sphere again. I should have clicked Scald in all honesty, but I didn't want to get the synchronized burn over, so there's that. He goes into Scyther, he goes for Roost after tuning the Aura Sphere, risking the burn, and I don't get it, which is unfortunate. So he's gonna overuse and get a crit, which is also unfortunate. But there's still nothing that really wants to take a hit from this, and yeah, that's that. So Scald Mega Blast does a decent amount. I'm just gonna stay in and go for Dragon Pulse. Depending on damage rolls, I can actually 2-hit KO it, and that does nothing. He loses 1% and doesn't wake up because he hasn't burned turn of sleep yet, and I get the unstepped Dragon Coverage kill. I officially won the tournament. That's all I care about. Got unset rank coverage kill. So he brings the Scyther. I'm gonna go into Terrakion because it's like my best pivot at this point. And I can just click Rock Slide and something is going to drop. It's just, yeah. So Armor comes in, takes 32%. And I can just knock him out with another one. And Terrakion's putting on pressure on the thing. Now, Nidoking comes out. I still don't have a switch in. I will never have a switch in. And I'm going to go into my Shaman here because I don't need it at this point. It's completely useless. Mega Blast is down, Umbreon is down, so it doesn't do anything. Rotom Heat walls it, Scyther walls it, and the thing just kills it, as you can see. This is like a max HP Scarf Nidoking from the damage. So that's cool. It's like max HP Scarf Dragon Tail Nidoking, I think is what this is. So, gonna go for Scald, knock out the Rotom Heat as he sacks it off, and now I'm gonna keep my Mega Blasters in case I need to prevent Nidoking from like ice beaming everything I love and own, I guess. So now he goes for U-turn on to Salamence. I can just win the game from with Outrage from here. I do speak Nidoking because I am Scarf myself. So no matter what set he was, I could have outsped him. And now Scyther comes in, and I'm gonna get the +1 Outrage kill. And that is a GG to Sly. Scarfed Outrage means cleaning up the game. 42 turns. Games with Sly always take relatively long. Just how it is between us. And yeah, that was a good game. Again, check out Sly, and we're moving on to the next pool. That's just, yeah, that's that. Salamence just put in work, Healers put in work, and so did Terrakion and Mega Blastoise. And the other two were there for support. Shaman didn't really do a whole lot, but it was there. It did thing, it tried, and I'm proud of that. So, we're gonna move to the next game. So, we're in the quarterfinal against Flame Dog 3, alternatively called Flame Doge by the commentators, and his draft is absolutely terrifying and looks like an A-Drive team with like slight change. Like the TTM Mega Aggron thing is I think what A-Drive had in the GBA season, if I'm not mistaken. And he has Victini, Hydreigon, Togekiss, Roserade, Mega Aggron, Swampert, and Hawlucha. So he didn't bring the what's the one, Togekiss, which I'm okay with that. I have a lot of things that could hit it hard, so I understand that decision. Hydreigon is a threat. I don't have a switch into it. My Dragon Resist is a Psychic type. It's gonna be a problem. So I don't have a switch into Hydreigon. I didn't prep for it because I just couldn't. I'm just gonna have to hope to outspeed it. And yeah. So team decided to bring offensive Mega Blastoise because again it shits on his team. I think I had speed investment, but not much. So I was still bulky. I was bulky offensive, so it's real good. I can beat the Mega Aggron 1v1. I can beat the Swampert. I can live it from Victini, most likely, like if I'm at good health and just kill it with a Scald. Hydreigon, I can live a hit from an Aura Sphere to death. Did he have Aura Sphere? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I was Scald, Aura Sphere, Rapid Spin, Ice Beam, I do believe. So, yeah, that was that. So, then we have a Sash Terrakion with Dual Dance, Close Combat, and Stone Edge. This was one of my main win cons. I didn't know what item to put on it. Like I was very unsure what I wanted. So I decided to go with the Sash so I can set on anything on this team because he doesn't have priority. His team lacks priority. He has Quick Attack Victini, and that's it. Yeah, and E-Speed Togekiss. Those are the only two options of priority. So like a similarly bad case of no priority to my draft. And yeah, I wanted to use that with the Double Dance Dragon. Then we have a Silk Scarf Heliolisk with Grass Knot, Volt Switch, Hyper Voice, T-Volt, I think. Maybe Focus Blast in there somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't remember. Basically for momentum gaining and weakening his team for Terrakion. Then we have Spadef and Yachi Berry, Intimidate Salamence, which is my hard counter to Victini, with enough defense investment to take something that I don't remember. What was it? Something from Victini, I do believe. With Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Toxic, and Roost. Toxic is there to hit things like the Swampert on switch in, to weaken Victini, especially if it's like a bulky variant. Also for the Togekiss, of course, mainly. And for tokens, I also have my max HP Speedy Jirachi with enough speed to outspeed Hydreigon, if it's not Scarf. And 4 moves that I don't remember. There was Iron Head and T-Wave somewhere, because I want to beat Togekiss with its own things and stuff. And I don't know what else I had, honestly. I don't remember. I was also hasty, which should have been Jolly, but I messed up. So I have a minus defense nature, which I don't think comes into play, luckily. And then we have Golurk, which I think is Rock Polish. I'm gonna hop on over to Showdown and look it up right now. No, it's not. Okay, how could I forget the best set I ever came up with? This is a Power Herb Solar Beam Golurk. Yeah. Has enough speed to outspeed something. If it's bulky, I think Roserade. Bulky Roserade? Or no, Togekiss, I think. With Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Solar Beam, and Dynamic Punch. Solar Beam does like 70% to Swampert, which is amazing. Basic Swampert is a very, very decent switch into Golurk otherwise. And I can bait that thing in and weaken it for, you know, Terrakion mainly, and I guess Helios if it wants to clean up. And yeah, Golurk's gonna be one Wall Breaker and fuck his team up sideways, and it's gonna be great. So, let's get into the game. He decides to lead off with his Swampert. I decided to lead with my Mega Blasters because, again, it's a good lead against the majority of potential leaders on his team. So, turn 1, I'm just gonna click Scald. I want to get a burn on something because burns are cool. And I do get the burn turn 1 on the Roserade, which again is his answer, just like Loss did it in the pools. To some extent. So, that's fine. I'm just going to pivot out into my Jirachi because it's my safest middle ground play. So he goes for the Leech Seed. I'm okay with that because it's just going to be 12% rather than like a Shadow Ball to the face, which would have been more. So that's fine. I'm going to click U-turn here because I don't think he's going to stay in. No, we're going to Self-Locks. Excuse me, because he doesn't have his removal. His only removal is Togekiss. So, no removal. Rocks to say I'm going to get Chip Off on that Victini, which is amazing. Gonna go for U-turn. This damage tells me this is a speedy offensive Swampert. And he has Stealth Rocks. So he's like an offensive Stealth Rocker, which is good to know. So I'm gonna click Rapid Spin because I want these rocks out of the way right away for my Salmons because it's my Victini switching. And just keep my Sash on Terrakion intact. Here with Roserade again, I'm gonna go into Jirachi again. Rinse repeat. Because Jirachi doesn't care. I'm gonna go for Giga Drain, which doesn't do a terrible amount. He's gonna get his health back, and now I'm gonna start U-turning because Volt Turn is gonna be very, very nice this game. He brings up Thomas, his Mega Aggron, and that U-turn does 6%, which is pretty impressive, I want to say. But this allows me to safely bring out my Golurk and just click Dynamic Punch on anything. I'm gonna go nice damage. He's not gonna switch into any of his resists because he don't want to take it. And if he goes into Lucha, I get a Confusion at least, and I also hit Hydreigon super effectively. So safest play overall by far. And I don't know if it's switching. I'm going to go to my Helios at pivot and probably sack it because it's the most expendable one. But he doesn't have Confusion, and that's nice. So he wins at Roserade. I'm just going to keep Volt Switch since he seems to be Spadef. He's also Natural Gift, not Natural Cure. He is Technician, so that's good to know. Since he is most likely Spadef, then Volt Switch isn't. Then I'm not going to kill it with Hyper Voice. What I'm trying to say. Talking is difficult. So I'm going to go back into Jirachi. I'm going to click U-turn again because Jirachi doesn't care. Never mind, I click Iron Head. I am stupid. I expect me to overpredict there. Go for U-turn again, but it doesn't happen. So, gonna go for U-turn, and all this damage I've been doing to Mega Aggron tells me this has no HP investment, or almost no HP investment, or I'm too stupid to calc. Either or. So, he's gonna go for Heavy Slam, probably expecting some sort of switch, and I'm gonna take that like it's nothing, and gonna Ice Beam it, expecting the Roserade to come in. And I should have just take Ice Beam again, but I don't, and he goes in the Roserade, gets a free switch in basically, because I'm not going to do much with the Scald, and it's just terrible, everything's terrible, and I'm sad. Yeah, I should click Ice Beam. I don't know why he made that play in the Roserade there, because the Ice Beam was a very, very safe play for me regardless, but hey, worked out for him. So, he gets this off, gets back to full, and then takes the burn damage, and Jirachi's in again, and I'm gonna click U-turn. I think I click U-turn here. I click Iron Head. I'm expecting to predict me again, but it's not working because he wants to keep his Roserade counter in. And I'm gonna go into my Mega Blasters right here because I can take an Earthquake, right? Nope, he's Bandit. Bandit Swampert. I die. But strong. Very strong. I probably should have gone to something else like Golurk and just clicked Solar Beam, but I don't. So I'm going to Settlements because it's immune to the Earthquake. I'm going to pull the double into my Golurk because I was fairly sure he'd go into Mega Aggron there, but he obviously doesn't know my set. And like if it was a normal set, then Mega Aggron would just die to either 2 Earthquakes or like 5 blasts. So fair play on his part. Gonna go to Golurk, which scares at Victini because I can most likely live any hit. He's gonna go to Roserite, which I don't quite understand, but works out for me as I go into my Settlements. And I can now scout 40 HP Ice by going into my Jirachi again, because Jirachi is again just a hard counter to the thing. It seems like. So he's going to reveal that he does have the Technician HP Ice, which does 9% because Jirachi just is too good. It's a monster. So I'm going to click U-turn this turn, and he says, and this is the turn I was thinking would happen every time. Gonna go into my Sash Draken, make the offense switch, and just take the 12% from Leech Seed. And now he doesn't have a switch to the thing at this point. And I can just click Stone Edge, knock out the Roserite. I don't miss Stone Edge. Like Draken just doesn't miss Stone Edge, at least not important ones. So he was Mega Aggron, thinking that I am choiced. I am not, and I kill that thing off. He's probably like a rest rate and hoping to get a rest off. Maybe, probably not though. That thing goes down. He brings out Victini, and I can just go into my Settlements again because Settlements is the hard counter to this Victini. I'm gonna go for Blue Flare on Terrakion. Not quite sure I understand that play. Probably pretty my Jirachi actually. Yeah, that was fair. So I'm gonna drop a Toxic on the Printed Swamp at switching, which works out perfectly. And now I'm gonna make a bad play because he's obviously gonna go for Ice Punch. He's banned. I go to Golurk. I was like, I can get a meme off, and I just die to a banned Ice Punch because Swampert is strong. That surprised me that kill. I didn't calc it, but I was fairly sure I could live, but I just don't, and that's really, really impressive. So I'm going to go my Jirachi because he is locked into Ice Punch. I can shoot it. I'm going to click TF, expecting him to switch. Doesn't happen. He says, and this turn I am going to click Iron Head and knock him out because he's I'm not staying in. So yeah, T was my safe play. I didn't lose anything because I was 100%. It was 100% confirmed that it was choice banned. So overall, very safe play. And yeah, I'm going to keep Jirachi in your bag because at this point it can also check Hawlucha. I'm going to sack off my Heliodisc right here and scout for his Victini set. Turns out he is Scarf. I live the Blue Flare, which is very, very impressive despite me being dry skin. And now I can go into Terrakion and just set up a Rock Polish and win. Because Hawlucha doesn't take a Stone Edge from the thing. And I can then clean up the game by killing the Scarf Victini with another Stone Edge. But I missed the Stone Edge. Remember I said I don't miss those? Yeah. So now we're in a little bit of a trouble here, but I still have my Jirachi at 89%. I'm fine. I can just click T-Wave against the thing and then flinch it to death because I am that kind of player. Like, I miss the Stone Edge. I don't feel bad. So he's not Limber, Hawlucha, which he could have been. Didn't expect him to be because that would be weird. Iron Head, flinch. Another Iron Head next turn after getting up the leftovers. And do I get another flinch or do I die? I get another flinch. I think I could have. Oh, I get a parry this time. Pretty sure I could have lived the HK regardless because I'm a max HP Jirachi, and Hawlucha is a little bit weak, so I'm not quite sure if it would have killed me. So, Razor of Scarf Victini, and look at that. I live. I live a Blue Flare, get burned, doesn't matter. I'm going to kill him off with the Iron, and that's a 2-0 victory. And we are moving on to the semifinals, which is amazing. So, yeah, someone's apparently surprised. And that was a good game, Flame Dog, and came down to a lot of, you know, luck, I guess. I think I would have won regardless because Victini would have been at 1% and I could have gone to Settlements. Yeah, all I needed was like one Iron Head on Hawlucha that got off no matter what. So I had to get him back even without the flinches, so they didn't matter, thankfully. So that's good. And we're gonna move on to the semifinals, and I think I'm gonna do that in this video. So we're gonna move on to that now, and yeah, see you in a sec.